Well, folks, Biden's border crisis is hard for us to watch, and it's unimaginable for border agents and local law enforcement who have to try to mitigate it. They lack resources, they lack the support from the federal government, and because of that, they now lack morale. It got so bad that Team Biden had to bite the bullet today and announce that they will, come November, be reinstating, you ready for this? President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, a policy Joe Biden called inhumane, remember? This amounts to a huge admission from the White House that finally President Trump's border policies worked. Republicans have been calling on this for 9 months. I've been calling on it since he took office, right? So sadly, the damage may already be done, though. Our correspondent Jason Jones is embedded with the Texas Department of Public Safety, the state police there, experiencing firsthand the weakening confidence officers are feeling to quell this catastrophe.
For the men and women defending America from the onslaught from the South, these have been exhausting days. Whether it's the increasingly emboldened cartels, heavily armed and well-trained, now daring to operate on American soil, bringing both illegal drugs and death to those standing in their way, or a never-ending flood of migrants desperate to escape their native lands. The challenging conditions have been both exhausting and demoralizing for the brave men and women protecting our borders. They're badly outnumbered, they're tired, and their morale is at risk. So how do their leaders respond to the challenge of motivating their people doing the next to impossible thing? I asked exactly that from an old friend, Major Jim Rorman.
You know, I've always believed in doing 5 things with leading men. Taking care of is take charge, motivate, communicate, supervise, and take initiative. And so I'm going to do those 5 things. And so you pass that down to the guys and gals. You take care of their needs. And coming down here for 2 weeks is not a big deal. It's a part of the job. It's what we signed up to do. The citizens of Texas expect that from the Texas DPS. And I know from your time, you understand that. That's just what we do.
I sat down with Assistant Chief Stacy Holland to learn more about what law enforcement on the border are going through.
Yeah, we're on a rotation. Right now, we've got pilots from San Antonio, the Houston office, the Dallas office. But again, our crews wouldn't have it any other way. When there's a crisis, like we've seen, since mid-March, and then we have a crisis within a crisis, which is what we've got going on now with the Haiti debacle, that, our guys wouldn't have it any other way. They're prideful people. We're in a prideful state, and I would hope the viewers know that live in the other states that it's important that we as a border state take care of it now, because whatever we can prevent and secure is ultimately going to make its way to your state unless we stop it now and here. So it's a tough mission. It's a hot mission. It takes a toll on our officers and their families, but our officers, the police officers of the Department of Public Safety wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, Jason Jones joins us now live from the border in Del Rio, Texas. Jason, I have to wonder, what does Border Patrol think of all the work that state police are doing, the Texas State Police are doing on the border?
Yeah, Grant, it's good to be with you tonight. We're here in Del Rio, and I'll tell you, what you find is down here in Texas is you truly see a holistic approach, and it's not just rhetoric and it's not just noise. You're seeing it in Operation Lone Star, a $1.8 billion operation. And all of these agencies are working together. Local sheriffs that I've talked to, the state police that we've been embedded with, along with the men and women of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So they have what they call real synergy here in Texas. You have to remember, border operations in Texas aren't anything new. And what you heard from Assistant Chief Stacy Holland just a minute ago is exactly right. You may hear a lot of what's happening coming out of Washington, but when you're down here with these vanguards and the people protecting this country, they truly recognize that what gets through here affects every American in this country. And that's why they're down here and they're as committed as they are. And I want to tell you, Grant, they truly are committed to this.
Yeah, I know they are. I've been in and around Texas State Police for a long time. I live in Texas, cover them a lot. You've got that big, giant, formidable wall behind you. You're in Del Rio. We know that that's ground zero for the invasion that we're under. I guess that wall ends. It's not complete, is it?
No, it's not, unfortunately. And That's why we've seen such incredible numbers like we have down here. And it's also why the cartels are operating in Roma, where we took you yesterday, because what's usually not talked about is those areas between where this wall does not exist is what the cartels battle for. And that's why DPS has surged with this operation in that particular area. But then also why people are crossing here away from this border wall where it doesn't exist.
Yeah, of course. Lastly, Jason, we saw it today. The Biden administration says that inhumane policy that they talked about that President Trump had in effect that really helped so much when it came to this, they're going to reinstate, remain in Mexico while asylum cases are decided. What effect is this going to have on them? And do you really believe they'll follow through with this policy?
Well, I think time's going to really tell. The truth behind the migration protection protocols is it spreads to the world the perception that if you come, you're not going to be able to just run into the country anymore. But the question remains is how tactically are they really going to implement that policy? And it all depends on what Mexico is willing to do and what they're going to do. And I think that's really where we're going to see things in the long run determine what the rest of the world hears from Washington and whether they're going to continue to pour into this country the way they have been over this last year.
Well, certainly the Biden administration has been incentivizing that migration to the United States. Jason Jones, I'll tell you, I mean this, buddy. You did phenomenal work this week, and I look forward to working with you more for your work on the border and beyond. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.
All right. You got it.